Today I have two GMC Sierras. One has the max trailering, one does not. If you are planning on towing a trailer with a 1500, this video is going to be very helpful for you. I'm going to give you guys some of my humble opinions on buying a truck like this to tow with. I borrow them from Jerry Seiner, Buick GMC here in South Jordan, Utah. Be sure to ask for Frank. Let's go ahead and get started with the video. First and foremost, if you are looking to get this package, you can get this max trailering package on any truck that has a 2.7 all the way up to the 6.2 liter. So if you want the diesel, yes, you can get that package. As far as trim levels go, you cannot get max trailering on a Pro, which is kind of silly, but that's how manufacturers are. You cannot get it on the base truck. However, SLE, Elevation, and SLT are available with that package. However, Denali AT4, AT4X, and Denali Ultimate are not available with the max trailering. Obviously, when you're looking at half-ton trucks, they do have some disadvantages for towing. These trucks are not really built for towing at max. Like, if you're looking to tow heavy and for long hauls, I would venture to say you might want to consider an HD truck. But if you are planning on towing a travel trailer or maybe even an enclosed trailer, this video will be helpful if you don't do it too often. But at the very least, I would consider a HD truck, just my humble opinion. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers on this half-ton without max trailering. On this truck, you will see these are the standard numbers for the axles, gross vehicle weight rating, everything. So 3,800 pounds front and rear for the axles. Gross vehicle weight rating is 7,100 pounds, okay? And you guys see here, total payload is 1,724 pounds. Now, if you're not familiar, if you were to take the gross vehicle weight rating and subtract it from this curb weight, that's what gives you the payload. And you guys see right here, gross combined weight rating is going to come in at 15,000 pounds even. Now, as far as the tires go, let's see. I don't know if they changed the tires for max trailering. So we have the truck side by side, so we'll go ahead and check that. So these are Bridgestone Alenza tires. They're going to have 2,670 pounds, 44 PSI max. Let's go ahead and see what the tires are on this truck here. Let's go on this side since it's kind of hard to see. So yes, they don't really change the tires for this truck because this is also a Bridgestone Alenza. And you see right here, 2,679 pounds is the capacity. But let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers on the door. So you guys can pretty much tell they did change the rear gross axle weight rating from 3,800 pounds to 4,150. Also, they added 200 more pounds to the gross vehicle weight rating. Now, when it comes down to the payload didn't really change because this truck's going to be a little bit heavier because of the fact that it does have a little bit more overbuilt rear axle, suspension. And so I want to show you guys online what comes on this package. Actually, I'll show you the window sticker, but then I'll show you guys online too. But you guys see also your gross combined weight rating is 16.8. Also, your conventional towing is now 10.9. And if you do plan on towing a Gooseneck trailer, which I strongly recommend you don't, it's 8,800 pounds compared to 9,200 pounds for conventional and then 8,300 for Gooseneck. So Gooseneck doesn't move much, but that conventional towing definitely does move a good bit. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and go online so you guys can see exactly what changes with this max trailering package.
So here's everything that's going to come with the max trailering package. So they do increase the gross combined weight rating as you just saw. They give it an automatic locking rear diff. It says handling and trailering suspension package, enhanced cooling radiator, revised shock tuning, heavier duty rear springs, and increased rear gross axle weight rating as you just saw. 9.7-inch rear axle, 342 for gas and 373 for the diesel engines. Trailer brake, and sometimes you may have to pick another package with it, but for the most part, that's everything that's going to come in that max trailering package.
If you do want the max trailering package with the 5.3 configuration, it is going to be $850. Now, what that gets you is the 9.7-inch rear axle. You also get enhanced cooling radiator, revised shock tuning, heavy-duty rear springs, increased gross axle in the rear, which you just saw, and it gives you a 220 amp alternator. I'm going to assume they give you a 170 amp standard. So here is the suspension on the base truck. You can't really even see. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but you only have just this one leaf. When you get the max trailering, they give you 3 leaves. Now that bottom one's going to be a helper spring. So this is going to help with squat, obviously. It's going to be a little bit more stiffer riding truck too, obviously. And as you guys saw too, they do retune the shock absorbers for towing as well. Now, on this truck, there's the axle. You're probably not going to see a big difference in the way the axles look. So yeah, the axles look pretty much the exact same. But yeah, you can really see the difference right here for the rear. For that suspension, you have those 3 leaves, helper spring at the bottom. And on this side, yeah, it just has 1 leaf. So that's a huge upgrade. And then the rating on that axle went from 3,800 pounds up to 4,150 on that other truck there. So you have just a little bit more overbuilt rear end and suspension on this truck here. This truck is going to have a 220 amp alternator for max trailering. You're not going to really see a difference on that. And the other thing is your radiator is going to be more heavy duty on max trailering. Now, as I said earlier, if you want the 2.7, the 5.3, 6.2, or the 3-liter diesel, you can get the max trailering on those trim levels that I had mentioned. Now, something else I haven't talked about yet is if you do get a gas engine, they do give you a 342 rear end. On standard trucks, it's going to be a 323. So they give you a little bit lower gearing with the gas engine trucks. Also, if you were to get a diesel, that would go up to a 373 for the max trailering package. So yes, even with that, they give you better gearing on this max trailering truck. And honestly, like, I think that's why most people probably won't pick this, because if you're not towing often enough, why go down in fuel economy by taking lower gearing if you're only towing maybe 5,000 pounds or less and you're only doing it maybe a few times a year? That's probably why most dealerships won't option the trucks with max trailering, because obviously most buyers probably won't know that the difference in the gearing is going to affect you, but for some people they would know that. And that's probably why I think they don't make that package standard. But my humble opinion is, if you plan on towing a trailer and you plan on buying a truck, just expect worse fuel economy. I would get the max trailering even if it was a couple times a year, just to have the better cooling, the lower gearing, the better axle. It just makes more sense. It's not much more money, you know, over, you know, the base setup, because you're just getting a little bit more overbuilt truck. And after seeing that rear suspension on this red one, I'm definitely convinced I would not tow with this truck unless it had the max trailering package. Now, here's the last thing I'm going to talk about. When it comes down to towing with a half-ton truck, a lot of people like the look with the short bed, right? Short bed trucks just have a little bit better styling compared to ones that have the longer bed. So that's a longer bed half-ton truck. And so proportionally, it doesn't look as nice as this truck does. So here's what I'll tell you. If you're looking to tow a trailer, I have towed with short beds, I've towed with standard beds. If I were in the market and I was planning on towing a trailer that is probably longer than 24 foot with this, I would 100% get the standard bed, because Obviously, when you stretch out that bed, you're also stretching out the wheelbase, and that will 100% change the way this truck handles on the road. I would also go ahead and upgrade these tires to LT tires with a little bit stiffer sidewall. I think that for most people, if you absolutely have to have a half ton, because I have friends, they will not buy HD trucks. No matter what I tell them, they just won't buy an HD truck because it's just too big of a truck. It won't fit in the garage and it rides like crap. So they only buy half-ton pickups. And so I understand that, but when it really comes down to it, I think that this max trailering package just makes way more sense if you get the standard bed. 100%. I think that you'll have better stability. You are going to lose a little bit more payload, obviously, because you're stretching out the truck. But at the end of the day, I think it will tow so much better. But I do like the fact that GM offers these packages because it really does give people options if they do want to tow with a truck like this. And I think that if it were me, I would probably choose the 3-liter Duramax with the max trailering. And as I said, I would get the standard bed truck. I would get a little bit more beefier tire. And I think that that would be the best way to tow with these. In the past, I've done towing tests with these trucks and one with a max trailering a long time ago. And that was probably one of the best towing pickups I have ever tested. Out of F-150, out of Toyota Tundra, Ram 1500s, GM trucks in the half-ton segment tow the absolute best, and adding this package only enhances that and gives you a little bit more overbuilt truck. But be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let me know you guys' thoughts down below. See you guys soon.